Hello and welcome to my weekly market analysis for the energy markets. This is Brandon Waddell, Chartered Market Technician, and I'm going to take you along with me as I do some technical analysis on the energy futures market. So we'll take a look first, starting off here with the crude oil weekly chart. And you can see we pulled back a bit, and the low that we made on the weekly chart as we came down in this prior move up, we stayed above 40, and that's actually pretty bullish for crude oil. So we may continue to move to the upside here, but you can see we confirmed that as a low by making a higher low, higher high last week. So even though we got a little bit of selling pressure coming in, overall the market still seems a bit bullish. Looking at the daily chart, as we bounce off that low, you can see we retraced about 61.8%. And unfortunately, you can see we had a positive divergence where we ended up making higher lows on the indicator, but not on price. We made lower lows. That led us to the upside. So now to confirm this, if we can put in a low somewhere without going below 40 on the RSI, that would require us to put in a low in price with a higher low and a higher high on either side. So if we see another green candle come up on Monday and it's a little bit higher than the previous low from Friday, and then we go above about 72.35, that would confirm that we're in bullish mode and we're going to continue to go to the upside. Whoops, hit the wrong button there. If not, if we can continue to push back down, then we'll continue to see some new lows being made. So Monday's kind of critical for us. Sunday night going into Monday, really see what's going on. If we make that new high compared to Friday, then we expect prices to continue to skyrocket. If we go down, though, and we make a low compared to Friday, expect prices to continue to sell off. So that's going to be a key thing to watch is what happens Sunday going into Monday compared to Friday's candle. Going down to the 4 hour, basically what happened was we had a positive divergence. Okay, you can see back here, this was from last week. Actually, this whole chart was from last week. So we had the touch of a demand zone, but we were below 40, which means we can't make a new high. You go up, you see we didn't make a new high. We ended up coming down, doing a positive divergence. And what I was warning about last week was here we were coming down to make a new low. If we were going to go and stay above 40 after a divergence, that would tell you trend is changing and we're going to go higher. So that's what I put out last week. We go to this week, and basically that's what happened. You can see going from last week, this is what I was talking about with putting in a low. There's a low. You need higher low, higher high, but on either side. So taking a look, what happened here, look at that. We got a gap up last Monday, and that's your higher low. And then ultimately we made the higher high several candles later, a couple days later, and that led us to these new moves to the upside. We've just recently had a negative divergence here. And we made higher highs in the indicator and price right there. See the two higher highs? And we didn't do that in the indicator. We made similar highs, which means it's negative divergence. Prices are pulling back. But on the pullback, what you'll see is this low was put into 50% retracement. We did not go anywhere near 40 on the RSI. That's very bullish. So that's suggesting that we should be able to break out and make some new highs, go up to about 75.05 in the first part of this week. I would say by Tuesday afternoon, maybe Wednesday at the latest, we should be continuing to push to the upside. Although this could end up becoming a head and shoulders. So you've got the left shoulder right here, head, and we're working on that right shoulder. So if we roll over and break down below this 70.46, then we should drop pretty quickly into this demand at 67.98. So just be aware that one of those two possibilities, either continuing higher to touch 75, or that breakdown would get us down to 67.98, basically 68 whole number. Looking at the 60-minute chart, this is also showing weakness. And, we made highs above 60, but now we're starting to fall down a little bit. Can't get as high as we were before, and we can't get above 60. So keep an eye out for that. If we put in a peak by making a lower high and lower low on Sunday night going to Monday, then we're going to test some of those lower levels I just mentioned, like 68. Going into the nat gas, we had a pretty good drop here. We are retracing right now, as you can see. The past 4 days were nothing but retracement, pulling back up towards that 23.6 retracement and closing the gap. So we had drop-based drop supply zone there. A lot of weakness in price, as you can see. We've gone way down below 40. So we'll see if that continues. But that's suggesting that we're going to see more bearish prices coming in. We may come up and test the 4.066. But that may be it. We just get a test before we push lower. we still don't have enough momentum to even carry us above 60 on the RSI on the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour time frame, actually, sorry, was that 4-hour? I did two of them. That's why. Because what happens is if we end up failing right here at this 127.2, or actually it's a 23.6 retracement, 4066, we might pull back to that area. If we drop from that area, that's what this is, my target at 2.899. So that'd be my first target. On the 60-minute chart, this is garbage. We're not seeing much. It's a very weak sideways to slightly uptrend. The momentum just isn't there. We're not getting big moves up or big moves down. We're going above 60 and below 40. So no real clear direction here on that higher time frame. As I warned you, we might come up, just drift up towards the 4.066 before selling off quite dramatically. And obviously, you can keep an eye out for crude oil with this as well because it'll have some influence. Moving on to gasoline on the daily chart, we've done a pretty deep retracement here. We had a positive divergence where prices were moving down. The indicator saying, nah, we're okay, and started to rally. Now, we've come close, but we didn't make a peak yet. We have the lower high. Notice we have a high in the center, lower high, lower high. But we did just barely, looks like, made the lower low. So that confirmed a peak. And that peak is below 60. That's bearish. So we may actually get a little bit of reprieve at the pump, hopefully, because gasoline prices should come to the downside, according to this. So we may be done with our retracement. The 61.8 level, continue to move down. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we had signals for a reversal to the upside. It was positive divergence. Saw that. And then a low that did not go below 40. That led to the bullishness taking us higher. Well, right now, we've gone above 60, so we're not dropping right away. Even though we saw some weakness on the higher time frame, it may take us a little bit before we start dropping. I'd like to see what happens if we come back up and retest the prior highs. If we don't have the same kind of momentum we did before, then look out below. This will drop very quickly. So we need to make sure we don't get a negative divergence on the 4-hour. Otherwise, you want to sell. On the 60-minute, we are seeing no momentum anymore. Same thing. We had some bullish momentum here. Then we started drifting down and back and forth, and we've got nothing going on right now. So my main focus really is going to be on that 4-hour time frame, watching to see if we do move up, if we get any more momentum here, or if we get a negative divergence. That negative divergence will make a double top here and a very nice shorting opportunity down to 2.02, maybe even below 18799, the fresh lows. So keep an eye out for that. Heating oil, pretty much same picture, made a higher low. Made a higher high, and then there's a lower high, lower low. So confirmed that we have a peak that could not get above 60. That's a bit bearish on the daily chart. And we retraced about 61.8%, just like we did on the heating oil. So, and gasoline. Overall, we had signals before we rallied, and we may be getting signals before we collapse. The signals come in things like this divergence where prices make lower lows, indicator makes the same or higher lows, and then you see we had this pullback that if we were very bearish and we're going to continue down, we should have seen it in the momentum, and we didn't. We did not get below 40, and next thing you know, we popped to the upside. So now we're watching to see if we get divergence here where prices make another high or same high, but the indicator doesn't go up. So if that happens, look out below. We're going to come down just as easily as we went up, maybe even faster. So on the 60-minute chart, there's really nothing there as well. I keep saying that because take a look at the RSI and price. We're just drifting back and forth sideways. Here, there's nothing but a mess. We're above 60 and below 40. So a lot of mixed info there. Just be patient, basically, is what it comes down to. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you log in and subscribe to the videos. That way you get notification when new ones come out. I'd love to hear back from you as well. Until next time, everyone, trade safe, trade well, and take care.